What's up, guys? It's Matt here. It is currently December 29th. It's like 5 degrees outside, but part of my New Year's resolution is to create more videos. And the weather, I guess, can't really hold me back. um, but I wanted to talk about some New Year's resolution stuff because I've made a lot of New Year's resolutions over the last couple years, and I've had a couple work out and a couple not work out. And I think a lot of people end up failing at their New Year's resolutions as a result of just not having the right information and setting themselves up for failure. Um, there's really two ways to do it. You can either brute force your way through, which a lot of people don't have success with. And it's kind of like the analogy of like a diet, right? If you want to lose some weight, yeah, you can go do a crazy diet and probably get results pretty quickly, but chances are you're not going to stick with that plan because it's so crazy, it's not sustainable. um, and like, to go more into this, like last year and the year before even, I used to write down these crazy lists of all the things I wanted to do during the year. And it'd be like 2 pages of like a college ruled notebook, and you start looking at that and you're like, this is a lot. Like, if I would get all this stuff done, it'd be incredible. Like, I'd be a completely different person and I'd be really in the spot where I wanted to be at. But it becomes daunting looking at those lists, and the amount of pressure you put on yourself to actually achieve those things might be the catalyst that causes you not to even try in a lot of regards. That's what brings it to the point two, plan two, about how to create a New Year's resolution. And that's, I guess, kind of to ease into it, to look at something and say, hey, I want to start working out. Ideally, I want to get to the point where I'm working out 3-4 times a week. But you don't need to start doing 3-4 times a week. You just need to start. Because once momentum sets in, you will find yourself more motivated to do more and to eventually get to the point where you're going 3 to 4 days a week. So all you have to do is just say, okay, this week I'm going to go once. And you just do that for a little while. You're just trying to build the habit of it. You're trying to build the brain pathways of you forming a new habit. You're trying to ease your way into finding the space for that activity or that new habit to exist in your life without a whole lot of friction. Because if you look at it and you're like, hey, I'm going to go 1 time a week, that's really achievable. Or even like, oh, I want to do 100 push-ups a day or 200 push-ups a day or whatever. Just say 10. Why are you saying 100 or 200? Work your way up to that. Do 10, and eventually you'll probably do 20 and 30 and 40 and 50. And you'll get to the point where you're doing 100 or 200 push-ups. You just got to ease your way into it. Like this year, my real only resolutions, I guess I'm calling them kind of like keystone resolutions, and that's to create the space in the morning and at night for me to have time to do a bunch of really productive things. And what I mean by that is, if I wake up early in the morning, which, if anyone knows me, I'm not a morning person yet. Last couple of days I've been waking up at 5 o'clock and I've been feeling really good about it. But my whole goal is to have that 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock window as like a me time to really start drilling into all the goals that I have. And I want to get back into running. I used to run marathons and I haven't done that in a while, but it takes a lot of time in order to do those things. I want to get into reading. I've been reading a little bit more now, but it hasn't been a check off the box type situation. It's just naturally occurred because I've been going to bed a little bit earlier and I've been turning off the TV and turning off the distractions. Well, there's really nothing else to do but read. In the morning, my only goal right now is to wake up at 5 o'clock and spend the first hour doing really 3 things. It's doing a little bit of like mobility exercise, like 10 minutes of abs, just to do some core stuff. And then I'm reading for like 15 to 20 minutes, a really little meditation gratitude thing, and then journaling at the end of it. And that's my first hour. The last couple of days I've been doing that because I want to build momentum going into the new year. And I'll probably run this 5 days a week. And it's not like I have to have every minute of that 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock window completely filled. Right now, I'm just focusing on getting up at 5. That's the real goal. Because if I can get up at 5, that means that the battle's already won. And I will eventually figure out what I want to do with the rest of the time from the 6 o'clock to the 8 o'clock window. But going about it in that approach is way different than me saying I'm going to wake up and I'm going to go, go to the gym every day, and I'm going to go run every day, and I'm going to journal, I'm going to write, I'm going to read books and do this and that. It's like there's too many things. There's too many decisions. There's too many actions. And yes, if you aim for the moon, you'll be amongst the stars. Like, that's great. Everyone says that. I think that's a really stupid quote, because usually what happens is you aim for the moon, you look up, and the moon is so far away that you're afraid to jump. And most people will give up on their New Year's resolution in like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You'll burn yourself out. You'll start getting really low vibration feelings about you not achieving these goals, or you not sticking with something. And the last thing you need right now is another example of you failing. Because in reality, you've probably already tried New Year's resolutions before. This is probably your 10th, 15th year of doing something like this, and it hasn't worked out. So you have to look at it. How are you approaching it different? How are you approaching it where you have a really good chance to succeed? And I think that's taking all the pressure off yourself. And in my opinion, it's looking at the common denominator, which I think is time. Most people, if you want to add something into your life, a habit or something like that, the biggest excuse for you not following through with it is going to be time. It's a time commitment thing. I don't have enough time in the morning. I don't have enough time at night for this thing. And then, get to the end of the day, you're sitting there at 8 o'clock. You're like, oh, I haven't worked out yet. I'm going to not check off this box for the day, or whatever your goal actually is. And you start feeling guilt about it. And then the guilt spirals, and all of a sudden you're in the same exact spot where you haven't fulfilled any of the things that you want to fulfill. The other thing that you need to consider is the why behind the resolution. Why do you actually want to change? Working out is a really good analogy, being healthy and everything. You start asking yourself why and get down to the root cause of why you want to change. So if you're talking about working out, it's like, I want to work out more. Okay, why? Because I want to look better. Okay, why? Because I want to feel better. I want people to notice me or whatever. Cool, why? And you start getting down to layers and layers. And then once you get to the point where you're like, okay, this is actually the reason why I want this thing, then you can start tying emotions to that specific thing. Where it's like, okay, if this end result happens, if I get to that point, how will it make me feel? And that'll help you propel yourself into actually being motivated, where it's not just a surface level motivation or ticking off a couple tasks. It's actually trying to achieve something that's super fulfilling for you. And that's the most important part of all this stuff. The other side of it is you can't give up. And there might be seasons of this year where you fall off and you just try to string days in a row. You didn't do it today. Cool. Doesn't matter. That's fine. Try to do it tomorrow. You didn't do it for a couple days. Okay, cool. Get back into it. You're just trying to build a habit. And most people don't know how to actually build a habit. And I'd recommend reading books about this stuff. I'd recommend reading the 5 a.m. Club. It's one of my favorite books. It's amazing. Atomic Habits, stuff like that. Learn about how to form habits and how to trigger a reward system in your own head or in your own life that's going to allow you to actually achieve these things. But again, if you're going into this with the same exact philosophy that you've always had, where you're just going to brute force it and you're just going to randomly change your life overnight, good luck. It's good luck. Some people can do that. There's David Goggins out there and Alex Hormozy and all those people that just brute force their way through life. But most of us, if we had that in us, we would have already changed, right? So think about it a little bit differently. Give yourself some flexibility. Create a time window for you to do those things, to add that habit or to subtract that habit. Get out of your own way. Give yourself some grace. And if you miss a couple days, get back on it. And I think eventually, it might take you 3 months, 6 months, something like that, to actually get into doing the habit. But again, you're not going to just change your life overnight. You got to systemize this stuff. And if I could tell you that in June, you're the person that you say you want to be, that's doing this habit, this New Year's resolution, and it took you up until June to be able to do it. And now you have from June until the rest of the year where you're actually following through on this thing. I think you'd be really proud of yourself. So just think about it like that. Give yourself some grace, and good luck to you. I hope you do it. I know you can do it. You're worth it. And yeah, shoot some comments below of stuff you guys want to add or subtract from your life, and maybe we'll check in a couple months and see where you guys are all at. But I hope you follow through on it.